Welcome to Love Science Today, the podcast where we explore modern relationships through psychology, sociology, philosophy, and real human behavior. Here we study attraction, intimacy, boundaries, and emotional safety in the age of digital connection. If you want to understand love on a deeper level, you are in the right place. Let us begin. Today's episode is titled, Projection in Love, Are You Seeing Them or Seeing Yourself? You say, they've changed. But what if you never really saw them clearly to begin with? In this deeper, more incisive episode of Love Science Today, we explore projection, one of the most powerful, dangerous, and least understood psychological forces shaping modern relationships. Projection is not just misunderstanding someone, it is unconsciously assigning your own desires, fears, unhealed wounds, and expectations onto a stranger, and then falling in love with that version instead of reality. You will learn what projection actually is from both a clinical psychology and a philosophical perspective, how your unmet childhood needs and past traumas distort how you perceive a new partner, why the honeymoon phase is especially vulnerable to massive projection, the critical difference between seeing someone clearly versus seeing your imagination of them, how projection fuels the painful, toxic cycle of idealization and devaluation, the mirror effect, what your frustrations with your partner reveal about your own internal state, practical, grounded ways to separate perception from reality in your relationships. If you have ever said, they are not who I thought they were, this episode will help you understand exactly what happened and how to prevent it from happening again. I want you to think about the moment you realize a relationship is failing. You look across the room at the person you used to stay up until 3 a.m. talking to, the person you told your friends was the one, and you think, who are you? You have completely changed. You are not the person I met. It is a devastating realization. You feel tricked. You feel betrayed. But today we are going to look in a very uncomfortable mirror. What if they didn't change at all? What if they are exactly who they have always been, but you are finally taking off the glasses you forced them to wear? What if, for the first 6 months of the relationship, you weren't actually looking at them? You were just looking at a projection of yourself. Welcome back to Love Science Today. We do not just look at relationships here. We examine the mind that creates them. I am your host, Kehinde Ojo. Today's episode is different. It is deeper. It is slightly more uncomfortable, because we are talking about something that quietly, invisibly shapes almost every romance on earth. Projection. Not what they did, not what they said, but what you saw that was never actually there. Let us start with the psychology. The concept of projection comes to us primarily from Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. In clinical terms, projection is an unconscious defense mechanism. It occurs when you take something from within yourself, a deep desire, an unhealed fear, a suppressed trait, or an unmet need, and you unconsciously place it onto another person. Think of your mind like a film projector. You are sitting in a dark cinema. The other person is the blank screen. You project your internal movie onto them. You don't just see them, you see your interpretation of them. And then you respond to that interpretation as if it is objective reality. If you are deeply insecure, you might project judgment onto a partner, assuming their quietness means they are angry with you. If you desperately want to be rescued, you might project hero qualities onto a partner who is actually just doing the bare minimum. You are having a relationship with your own imagination. Let us go deeper into the neuroscience of this. Your brain does not experience reality directly, it constructs it. When you look at an object, your brain takes in light, but it has to interpret what that light means. It does this by accessing past experiences. What happened the last time I saw something like this? Emotional memory. Was I safe or in danger? Beliefs. What do I believe about myself and others? So when you meet someone new, you are never starting from zero. You are starting from everything you have ever been through. If your last partner was deceitful, your brain is actively looking for deceit in the new person. If your childhood lacked affection, your brain is starved, looking for any tiny crumb of validation. You do not see the new person objectively. You see them through the incredibly thick filter of your own emotional history. Why is romantic love the absolute breeding ground for projection? Because love activates your deepest, most primal needs. The need to be seen, the need to be chosen, the need to be safe. When you start dating someone new, there is a lot of ambiguity. You don't know them very well. There are a lot of blank spaces in their character. Nature hates a vacuum, so your brain rushes to fill in those blank spaces. When someone shows even a small amount of alignment, they like the same band, they text back quickly, they ask how your day was, your mind takes that data and extrapolates wildly. They listen to you vent about work, your brain projects, they are deeply emotionally intelligent and will always be here for me. They planned a nice date, your brain projects, they are completely stable and ready for commitment. You take a single action and assign a massive, unearned character trait to it. You don't just see who they are, you see who you desperately need them to be. Let us look at how this destroys relationships. Let's talk about Michael and Sarah. Michael had a history of feeling misunderstood by the women he dated. He met Sarah on an app. On their first date, Sarah was quiet, warm, and a very good listener. Michael told her about his difficult childhood. Sarah nodded, held his hand, and said, "That sounds so hard." Within weeks, Michael believed he had found the one. He told his friends, she is different. She is so deep. She really understands the core of who I am. But let us look at reality. Sarah was a good listener, yes, but she was also highly avoidant. She listened to Michael because she didn't want to talk about herself. She used his vulnerability as a shield so she wouldn't have to be vulnerable. 6 months later, when Michael needed Sarah to show up for him during a crisis, she pulled away completely. She avoided the conflict. She became cold. Michael was devastated. He yelled at her, "You changed. You used to be so deep and connected." But Sarah hadn't changed. Sarah had always been avoidant. Michael didn't see her clearly on date 1. He projected emotional depth onto her silence. Because he desperately needed to be understood, he hallucinated that she understood him. He didn't fall in love with Sarah. He fell in love with his projection. Michael's story highlights a very specific cycle that ruins modern dating. It is the cycle of idealization and devaluation. Phase 1, idealization, the projection. This is the honeymoon phase. You project all your hopes onto them. They are perfect. This is different. This is it. You ignore the red flags because the red flags contradict the movie playing in your head. Phase 2, reality emerges. The friction. Eventually, the other person gets tired of playing the character you cast them as. Their human flaws surface. They get grumpy. They forget things. They disappoint you. Phase 3, devaluation, the crash. Because you place them on a pedestal of perfection, their fall is catastrophic. You don't just see them as flawed. You see them as a monster. They are a narcissist. They tricked me. They are not who I thought they were. The tragic truth is, the issue is not just their flaws. The issue is the massive gap between who they actually are and the impossible fantasy you projected onto them. Let us step away from psychology for a moment and look at philosophy. Philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche and the phenomenologists argued a very humbling concept. We do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. If you are carrying a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If you are carrying unhealed abandonment trauma, every delay in a text message looks like a rejection. If you are carrying deep insecurity, every neutral comment looks like a criticism. We use other people as mirrors to work out our own unfinished business. When you are furious with your partner for being lazy, it is often because you do not allow yourself to rest. When you are obsessed with your partner's potential, it is often because you are avoiding doing the hard work to reach your own potential. How do we stop projecting? How do we take off the glasses and actually see the human being standing in front of us? Here is your protocol for clarity. 1. Slow down meaning making. When someone does something nice on date 2, observe it, appreciate it, but do not assign deep meaning to it. They bought me coffee means they bought you coffee. It does not mean they are your future spouse. 2. Observe patterns over time. Reality requires time. You cannot know someone's character in a month. Character is revealed through consistency, especially under stress. Let them be human before you declare them perfect. 3. Separate feeling from fact. Your feelings are valid, but they are not objective truths. I feel intensely connected to this person is a feeling. We are highly compatible and share the same values is a fact. Do not confuse the two. 4. Ask questions instead of assuming. Projection thrives in silence. If you are unsure why they did something, do not invent a story in your head. Ask them. Clarity kills projection. 5. Reclaim your projections, the shadow work. If you are infatuated with someone's brilliance or confidence, ask yourself, where am I denying those traits in myself? Often we fall in love with people who embody the parts of ourselves we are too afraid to express. I want you to take these questions into your week. Journal on them with brutal honesty. What character traits do I tend to automatically assume about people very early on in dating? Do I fall in love with a person's current reality, or do I fall in love with their potential? When I am frustrated with a partner, what unmet need of my own might I be projecting onto them? How quickly do I assign massive meaning to very small behaviors? I want to leave you with this final, beautiful, but difficult truth. You do not fall for people as they are. You fall for the story you build around them. But true love, real, enduring, mature love, begins the exact moment the projection ends. It begins when the fantasy shatters, and you look at the flawed, messy, imperfect human being standing in the rubble, and you decide to love them instead of the idea of them. Growth in love is learning to see clearly, not perfectly, but honestly. This is Love Science Today. I am Kehinde Ojo. Until next time, don't just feel deeply, see clearly. Thank you for listening to Love Science Today. I hope this episode gave you something meaningful to think about. If you learned something, share it with someone who may benefit. Remember that love is not random. It is a pattern you can understand and choose with intention. Join me again for the next episode as we continue exploring the science and soul of real connection. Stay thoughtful, stay open, take care of your heart.